Give it a second. Let everyone start coming in here. So how you guys doing? Hold on one second. I'm going to turn the AC on. What's up, Christian? So, what's up, Johnny? I'm not sure if you guys heard, but Biden just made a huge announcement about 15. No, I don't know. Maybe it was today, early today, about a few hours ago, 3-4 hours ago. But the announcement, I think, is going to be something that's going to reshape business as a whole. And in this live stream today, what I'm going to be talking about are the big changes likely coming to business and how we can all make a lot of money during this change. Because I think that a good chunk of people, unfortunately, don't see what's actually happening. They think that, this is just a temporary situation and that life will resume back to normal in the coming maybe 6 months or a few months. Everything's going to return to normal. I had one of my good friends say, oh, what'll be fine after the midterms? The midterms are another 15 months away. That would be a whopping 3 years that business has changed. With that kind of change, we're not going to be going back to a normal that we've ever once known. What do you guys think about right now with the future of online? Where do you see this going? And what do you think the biggest money-making opportunities are? Drop it in the chat here. I'm curious what you guys think of the biggest opportunities. Because what I think is likely going to happen very, very soon is that we're going to be stepping into another series of closures. I'm going to see if there's a way I can screen share here. There should be. Let's see here. There should be a way I can screen share. I want to show you guys something here. Let's see here. It's not letting me. So maybe I could just show it to you on my phone, and you guys can see it from here. But so Biden just came out and he made this announcement today. Tell me if you guys can see that.
Is that it's no longer.
Let's see this. This is really important. People don't know that he said this.
And do you think he's open to that?
I know he's open to it, and the question is, when is the right time to get the most bang for the buck when you do it? A lot of this is timing. And so I think it's going to happen. But look, the one thing that you all are being politely and appropriately referencing is that it's still a temporary approval. So when does the final approval come? It usually takes a lot of work to get there. I made a commitment. I would not tell anyone in the Justice Department who they should prosecute, and I would not tell the health industry, the government health entities, what they should say and do. But my expectation is they're going to reach that conclusion in the early fall. Thank you.
So what that means to me is that we're going to have some huge changes coming, because what I think is very likely to happen coming very soon. We're already hearing about it right now, like Lollapalooza, for example. You need to show proof to be able to enter Lollapalooza. And what I think is very likely to happen here is that by the fall or late winter, what we're going to see is we're going to have a series of governors and politicians. DeSantis is not excluded. I know right now he's saying one thing, but trust me, he's not going to be the only one. I mean, right now they're pumping really hard that Florida's the problem. So what I think is going to happen is that we are going to see a situation where they're going to say, okay, you either comply with this proof with the passport, and you can have as many people in your store as you want, or if you don't, then you can only have restricted capacity. And so you then look at this. You say, okay, restricted capacity, increased minimum wage, higher cost for goods and services, and a two-tier society. So you have less people coming into your store on top of it being decreased capacity. So what we're going to then have is a situation where rents are likely going to have to come down dramatically for people to stay in the business. And the only way that could happen is if most of these landlords go belly up because they bought these properties all based on a situation where the rent was going to be X. So what we're going to see likely is we're going to see a lot more attention go online. That's what I think is likely to happen. I think we're going to have a lot more attention go online. And it seems as though if we pay attention to what's happening all over the world, it's only getting worse. But it seems as though we're going to have a situation where everyone's going to be flooding online in the next 3 years, 1 to 3 years, probably less than that. But flooding online, trying to figure out a way to where they can make money because their traditional business model got disrupted during all of this. And so then they're saying, okay, well, so how do I compete? What am I going to sell? What product or service? What can I offer online? We've seen what happened with Amazon. Amazon, for example, they had a guy that was selling tripods on there. He's making like, I don't know, $3 million. About $3.5 million online. And Amazon came in, duplicated his exact tripod. They canceled his account and they just cut him completely out of the business. Now, when you search for his tripod online, you can look this up. Search for his tripod online, it goes right to Amazon, and Amazon tries to upsell you a cheaper product, the same product, essentially. Just blew out his business. So that's going to be the real problem, because there's only going to be a few different segues into online business. Google, Facebook, and Amazon are going to control it. The other businesses that are going to be successful are going to be the ones that are deemed essential. Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens. Those big conglomerates are going to be the ones that are going to absorb market share and shut down, Joe's Pharmacy and, Sally's Cosmetics. Those businesses are going to be wiped out. So then that question becomes, okay, so how do people make a ton of money online through these segues, through Facebook and through, Google and Amazon? And that's going to be the strategic conversation we're going to have here in this live stream today, is going to be where we see business going, what we think is likely going to be the direct net result of that, and what's the best way for us to position ourselves going forward so that we can all make a ton of money. Because I personally believe making money in the next 1 to 3 years will be a hell of a lot easier than it will be in the next 5 to 10 years. In the next 5 to 10 years, as more and more innovation comes out and the middle class essentially gets eroded, unfortunately, there's only going to be so many people that are going to be able to compete. Because you think about how easy it is for these huge corporations to really just shut down small traditional business. I mean, there's a million options. Like, for example, let's just say hypothetically, I was the founder of Walmart or the founder of a large company. All I would have to do is decrease my prices to a level that is slightly above cost just for a year or two during this entire, shutdown of this depression. Decrease them dramatically, offer big time incentives and loyalty programs, then shut down, really force the everyday consumer that's already in financial hardship. Hey, spend a lot less working here or coming to this store, Walmart, and shopping here, or spend 20 or 30% more going over there. Then what happens is over that time that business shut down, then you can just increase your prices up even above what they were charging initially. So all they're doing, they're going to do that same thing in the real estate space, I believe. In the rental market, is they may, during this upcoming recession, draw prices down so low to where they wipe out everyday mom and pop investors that can't drop prices that low. And then after that, they can increase them to whatever the hell they want because there's no competition. So this is going to be a war on capital. Who has the money? Who can weather the storm? And who is in that pivotal point to where they can, make that chess move and wipe out the other guy? And that's unfortunately a narrative that we're not hearing on the mainstream media. On the mainstream media, they talk a lot about, for the better good and this and that. But really what's happening is most businesses are about to get wiped out. That's a That's a sad reality. Most businesses are about to get wiped out. And what I think is likely to happen is the people that are online now that are smart, like really figuring out their strategy, they're aware. I mean, you just go look online. What's happening in Australia right now? What's happening in Germany? What's happening in the UK? What's happening in Greece? What's happening in Italy? You don't think that's coming to America? Like, that's going to come. That's 100% going to come. So how do you position yourself for the big win? Because there's really not going to be much of an option. If you set yourself up now and you come up with that really good business plan, you'll be fine. And this isn't like fear mongering. This is just fact. If you look online, that's essentially what's happening. But what I think is the smart move is figuring out a way to make a ton of cash online and building out like either a personal brand or a website. But the ultimate key, I think, will be having control of the audience that supports your business. I believe that's going to be the most important. So if you have a big business and you're collecting everyone's emails and you have control over the audience and you build a personal relationship with that customer, that's going to be imperative to your long-term success. So if you can have, a few thousand customers that you have contact with over email, that you're constantly emailing them, you have really good customer service, you're offering a really great experience, that is going to be invaluable. Because what is likely going to happen is what I think is as these small businesses start closing, they're going to say, okay, well, I don't have any of my customers' contact information. I don't have their emails really. So what do? I have to go try to build out a list. I have to build out a list online and start advertising. So if you have 50 or 60 different people in your area trying to advertise, all fighting for the same lead, it's the person that can pay more for the customer wins. And that is going to be that problem, is going to be who's going to be able to pay more for the customer. But right now, if you look at advertising costs hypothetically, or over the last 10 years, you'll see online, it's been like this. What's going to happen when everyone is stampeding in? It's going to be parabolic. It's going to be a parabolic move. That's what I think is likely to happen. There's going to be a parabolic move to ad spend. There's no way around it. And the other good thing, I guess, to add in some good, is the people that have really the face-to-face traditional business models with online, they can scale it. You rather than just working in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, you could work everywhere. You could have customers everywhere. So it's going to force people to think big. But I really do think the biggest period to make a lot of money is going to be now, making some serious moves now. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of YouTube videos. I'm really working really hard because it's going to be I think the best investment looking back a year, 2 years from now, when you look back and you say, okay, great. Because where I see this really going is all these businesses that really do have great products. For example, there's this one vodka company on the East Coast. Their vodka, I'm not even much of a drinker. Occasionally I have a little bit. But this vodka, it's one of the best I ever had, right? And this company does traditional advertising, postcards, stuff like that. Real small mom and pop operation, right? Now, what I think is likely to happen is these people are going to get wiped out entirely, or they're going to have to advertise. But how can they advertise against a Grey Goose or one of these other large companies? It's going to be very hard, right? Wouldn't it make a lot more sense if they were to partner up with someone that already had a large brand, a lot of followers that represent the niche in which would buy from them? So someone between 20 and 40 that's interested in making money and being, outdoorsy or whatever, right? Like people that are focused on being active and making moves. That would essentially be a market that they probably want to take advantage of. Now, wouldn't it be a lot easier rather than them paying all this money online for ad spend to partner up with someone that already had that brand? Maybe they give them a little bit of equity in the company. That's what I think this is going. This is where I think it's going. Maybe give them 10 or 20 or 30% of the company, and they represent your product on all of your videos. You wear a T-shirt, you offer 10% off, you offer, buy one, get one, whatever it is. But you're offering these in your videos, and you're doing, brand promotion, cross collateral promotion with other influencers. You start doing this, that company is going to be wildly successful. So That's where I think this is going. I think it's going to the point to where these companies are going to say, hey, I need to partner up with somebody. And if you look at like Tito's, for example, that's worth billions of dollars, imagine if you got 10% of that, 20% of that, or 30% of that. That's why I think this entire online thing right now, people are kind of asleep to how powerful it's going to be, because these businesses are going to need to partner up with these influencers to survive. That's where I think this is all going. What do you guys think about this? I've been talking like 10 or 15 minutes about it, but curious, do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? Yeah, Tesla YouTubers are doing brand selling Tesla car accessories. Yep. But see, the thing is, like Tesla, they can pay for that customer. They can pay for it. But you look at some of these other companies, and that's where the big money is going to be made for like a lot of these YouTubers. The big money is going to be made on the companies that they offer a really great product and service, except they can't afford to advertise it in this new normal. And that's when the YouTuber can step in and get, some huge money. Like some of these like NFL, look at the NFL, for example. These athletes have to now, do certain things to stay in the league, right? But their contract's only for 3 years or 4 years, and they're pretty much out. That's why most of these players end up with nothing, except the YouTuber. It's a completely different game because there's no wear and tear on our body. I mean, I literally film all my videos now still with my cell phone, and you can do an online business and you can represent 3, 4, 5 different brands or different companies, and there's a million different ways to make money online. And I think over time it only kind of grows. Excellent. Yeah, excellent customer service is going to be so key. Like K-shaped economy, the 9th degree. Include RE investors, the middle is getting wiped out. Yeah, middle class is toast. It's going to be toast, and it sucks, but it's going to be toast because they're not going to be able to handle what's going to come. What's going to come is going to be shocking. If you look at how much money printing has happened, like put it into perspective, right? The raw reality, America has 325 million people. 157 million was in the workforce, right? 157 million. Now, a lot of these jobs are going to get wiped out. They say somewhere between like 30 to 45% of all jobs in America will be wiped out by 2030, right? Then you look at the 56 million people that are on welfare and Social Security in America. We're going to have, and now people don't want to work. Like the overall, if you drive through a lot of these companies, there's always help wanted signs. Gas stations are offering like $15 or $17 an hour. How can people afford these expensive wages? I have a guy that does advertising, or not advertising, excuse me. He does like editing and stuff for my infographics and my videos on Instagram. The guy's located in India. He charges me $2 for an infographic and $5 to edit a full-blown minute-and-a-half IGTV video. $5. If I were to hire somebody in America, it'd be 25, 30, 40 bucks. So how do you compete there? That's where I see a lot of the online talent is going to be flowing east. A lot of the smart money is going to be flowing east. Facebook, Zuckerberg said he wants half of his employees to be, I forget what he said, something like diverse background. Basically what he means is he wants to outsource it. He wants to cut back on his Class A real estate, the prime real estate that he has in Manhattan or Silicon Valley, cut back. That way, he doesn't have to worry about his overall employees getting together, forming competing products or services. He can control the narrative and he can monitor their every action via Zoom. So that's what he's going to do. So that's where I see this going. I think that these big companies are going to start outsourcing. They want to take the money away from America so that way they can draw down the cost of living and then they can buy it all up really cheap. That's what's going to happen. You got to rank for those money keywords on YouTube. Oh, definitely. But the best way to rank for those is posting consistently about those and really focusing on that niche, like really putting. If you don't have additional streams of income beyond your salary, yep, 100%. 100%. That's why, like right now, I'm doing multiple things right now, building on new streams of income. I told my wife yesterday I want to have 10 streams of income that are each one of which could support us, because half of them will probably get wiped out in the coming 10 years at least. So you want to have these backup plans where you can pivot and move, because as some get wiped out, other opportunities will present themselves and you can run out there and pounce on them. Like, for example, YouTube. I started YouTube here. I started 14 months ago. I wish I could figure out this screen share thing. I'm going to talk to my team to figure it out. I started YouTube about 14 months ago, right? And it took me about 5 months, no, like 3 months probably to get monetized. It was very slow. Like I made like 2,000 or 3,000 my first month, then like a few $100. And then it really started picking up when I figured it out. But it took me about 6 months or whatever to start picking up the traction. But between like November 15th and January 15th, like that 90-day period, I made $100,000 exclusively from video views, just people watching videos online on my YouTube channel, 100 grand. And that was, 7 months into YouTube. It was mind blowing, because what happens is during the winter months, people spend a lot more for advertising because they're fighting to get that Christmas revenue, that Hanukkah money, that holiday spending. They're fighting for that money. And that's where I see YouTube going. Rather than it just being great ad spend during the holiday months, I think it's just going to become great year round, because YouTube essentially is a partner of Google. That's what they are. So as ad revenue increases, the YouTuber makes more money because he's getting a percentage of that increased ad spend. So that's why I think that YouTube is going to be the ultimate money maker the next couple of years. It's going to be the ultimate money maker. But you ultimately want to segue, again, a lot of that attention. If you figure out what you're doing on YouTube fast, the big mistake that I made was winging it. Like, I started and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to post a lot of content. That was my key. Post a lot of content, and then I'm just going to blow up and everything will be great. Dude, it was so much work. And it took me that 6 month period at least to figure out how to work inside the algorithm, how to pick up views. And so I was working, and it was a pain because my wife was pregnant. And so she would sleep at night, and like essentially I would film my videos at night. Or excuse me, not pregnant. We just had my son. He's 18 months now. Just had my son. He was a baby. He would sleep during the night, and I would film my videos during the night from like 12 to like 4 in the morning and edit them. And I was in bed by like 5:30. And I was doing that every single day for 6 months. Every day for 6 months. I would sleep in till like 10:30 or 11. I'd sleep like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And then, we'd spend the day together, and I would work from my phone. But it was brutal. My schedule was so screwed up. It was just hard. And if I would have known what to do early on, I wouldn't have had to really go through that, because you post these videos based upon the amount of, basically the niche that you're posting inside of and your views. If you're not getting many views, then you don't make any money on the video. But a really good video for me could make me $15,000 or $20,000. It's incredible. Yeah. Netflix, I think, is I don't know. A lot of people, I think, are steering away from like Netflix in comparison to YouTube. People, they hop on YouTube because YouTube does a couple things. If you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, what happens is that short attention span. We've all been on TikTok. We scroll after a half a second, scroll. On YouTube, people sit and hang out. It's like hanging out with their buddy. They'll sit there and spend, 10 or 20 minutes watching their friend. And that's the difference, is the relationship that you make on YouTube. Typical video might be 10 or 15 minutes, but the average view duration on YouTube is 50% of the video. So it's shocking. So the more ads people click on, the more engaged your audience is, the more value your audience finds from the product. By the way, subscribe here. I'm going to be going live on this channel consistently, probably every few days. So if you want to hop on additional lives, consider subscribing here. And also please hit that like button. It does a lot for the video, for this live stream. So with that being said, that's why I'm grinding really hard. Like, for example, this second channel is based around making money online, real estate investing, which I'm not talking so much about real estate right now because prices are sky high. And I think there's going to be a really big correction probably in the next 6 months as we step into another series of business closures and people really become aware as to how much pain is in this market. We have so much stimulus happening right now. When the free money dries up, the eviction moratoriums really start hitting the street. We have like 40 million plus people that could be subject to eviction and foreclosure and that are in financial distress. When all that stuff starts hitting and the values really start plummeting, I'm going to be talking a hell of a lot more on real estate. But right now, it's making money online and aviation. Aviation's key because I tried to buy this plane, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and a ton of problems came up with the plane. Unfortunately, it wasn't for me. But I'm going to get another plane. I'm going to be doing videos on that plane. So the key is that plane, I'm going to be able to do podcasts and interviews, and I'm going to focus it on this channel. So that plane will be a tax deduction because I'll be doing the podcast on that. So basically, this is my plan here. Plan to probably be $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. I'll put down whatever I have to put down, maybe 20%. And I'm going to finance the rest at 3.8% interest, right? Because Biden is likely going to print a ton of money. And so as we print a lot of money, I think inflation is probably going to hit 5, 7, 8, 9%. So I'll essentially profit the difference. So hypothetically, let's say inflation hit 8 or 10%, which is possible. I would make the difference, which would be 6.5%, which would be about 20 grand a year. I'd make just on locking in that low debt. Then I'd have the tax deduction, and then I'd have a hard asset that I'd be able to move around, and I'd be able to do masterminds. I'd be able to do a ton of different things with that plane. And I'd be able to get also paid too on this YouTube channel and build out a whole audience of people that also own aircrafts, own planes. And that network, I think, will be invaluable because most people that own planes are entrepreneurial. They're really detail oriented. They're smart. They have a lot of really unique insights. So those people I'd be able to learn from, become smarter, and I think better over time being around these people. So for me, it's a win-win scenario. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have my first YouTube channel. I'm gonna have the second YouTube channel. I'm gonna get the plane. I'm in the process right now of buying this ranch. We'll see if this offer gets accepted, but it'll be sick. I'll show you guys this because I'm going to be putting a dirt landing strip on the property. Let's see here. I'll show you guys it. Yeah, so this is the guy. So like I don't know if you guys can see it, but basically it'll be right at the corner of the property. There's 3 properties on the lot. And so I'd be cutting those trees up. There's a lake right here, like a small little lake there. And yeah, so I'd be able to do like events and do stuff there. And I'd be able to, there'll be another tax situation. So that's why I'm saying like YouTube is so like important right now. It's so much more important than people realize. If you have a brand or you want to make money online, telling you guys like not getting on YouTube is a huge mistake. It's a big mistake. You don't want to get out there trying to advertise with other people, compete with them on Facebook or on these other platforms because the ad cost is only going to increase and it's going to suck. Like all you're going to do is pay more for the customer. Like why not just build out a base and that base will just come to you? And the power dynamic changes dramatically. When you're trying to advertise to someone, you're chasing them. When you have a base and people reach out to you and say, like, for example, let's say that you sell lawnmowers and you're talking about lawnmowers on your channel and someone reaches out to you talking about a lawnmower, the relationship, you guys are in an evil playing field. You guys are there. But if you're soliciting them, it's like, you know, you're trying to chase down and trying to level out the relationship so that you're viewed as a authority in that space. It's different. So that's why I think YouTube is key. Now, if any of you guys are interested in YouTube or getting started on YouTube, you probably need about $100 worth of actual equipment. I think I have my equipment right here. I have this little lab mic, which I bought on Amazon. I think this is like $40. And then my tripod, which I think was like also like $30 or something. I mean, you can get them really cheap on Amazon, maybe like $20-$30. And then my traditional cell phone is what I film them all on. And then I literally just sit right here on the couch and film my videos. It takes me like an hour-ish to both lay out the video and edit, and then maybe about 45 minutes or so to film the content. So it's easy. And then like a good video will just consistently make money every single day. As long as it sits on YouTube, it will make money from views, people seeing it on the YouTube search. So it's awesome. But if you guys want to get started on YouTube, I have a 4-week training that starts next week. And it's going to be every Sunday. and it's going to be about 2 hours every Sunday, and it has about 10 hours worth of content inside, and you'll have access to me via email 7 days a week. So if you have questions about your thumbnail or your title or your video idea or how to write your description or how to edit, you'll reach out directly to me. You won't work with like an assistant or team member. Let me see if I have a link here. I can give you guys a link. Here we go. That should work. I have testimonials as well on the website. Like a lot of the people that are inside of the course are picking up a lot of traction and they're putting hustle in. The key is though, YouTube takes work. So if you put in the work, you're going to get great results. You will get great results. You just have to put the work in. I think it's probably going to be, if you do what I say inside the course, you'll be from 0 subscribers and 0 views to monetized and making money in 90 days. 90 days. Yeah, so the $397 package comes without the calls. You still get 10 hours worth of content. So it's 10 hours worth of content. And if you still have questions, you can message me inside. I'll gladly help you. But the $597 is where you're actually a part of the calls, and we screen share, and we're looking at your channel. We're looking at your competitors. We're figuring out what video topics you should be doing and how you should be structuring your videos. And we have like a real plan in there for you to pick up your channel. Like this channel started making money from 0 subscribers and 0 views to making money in 22 days. 22 days making money every single day. So it's incredible. If you get the first channel down, the first channel monetized, you understand how to do it, you can have a second channel. That's why you look at a lot of these influencers on YouTube, they have like 3 or 4 channels, all these different niches. They're doing like, a podcast, and then they have like a business channel, and then they have reaction videos. Why do you think that is? Because they're getting paid on every single one, and it's not like a little bit of money. They're getting paid big time from all of their channels. And then interestingly enough, this audience might be interested in this content. Before you know it, the audiences are coming together, and they're building out a whole audience that they didn't even know existed. And their channel their audience and their platform just explodes. That's why get started on YouTube. I really do think this is the biggest opportunity right now. And unfortunately, I don't think there's anything else that is going to allow us to make a ton of money online with very limited startup cost. Because I think everything else online is just going to get more expensive over time. So editing has my... editing is actually easy. Like I use this software called Movavi, and I think it's like $25 or $50. I think it's on sale right now, and it's like drag and drop. So it takes very little time to actually edit the videos. My videos, they have very little editing. Like when I put in a news article or I put something in, it's a drag and drop. That's it. Like it's not complicated. I'm going to read some of these comments. Yeah, Joe said, once you get the first taste of online money, you can never go back. I was a real estate agent for a decade in Beverly Hills. I'll tell you what, really interesting people. I met a lot of people. I learned a lot about business and negotiation and making money. But that business was a grind. You're working 24/7, and it was always ups and downs. The deal going to work? Deal not going to work? Is this person going to call you back or not call you back? It was a headache, and it was very stressful. It was 24/7. Now online, like with an online business, if you structure your day right, you can work a few hours a day, and you just have to be consistent with it. A few hours a day, and you're good. If I don't already have a channel or a name for one, yeah. So I help you select your niche. So if you're kind of back and forth on your niche, we'll find out a little bit about you. We'll see which videos are doing best, what strategy you should be taking, what niche you should be going after, and then I'll help you in terms of everything else on your channel. But I'll help you with the niche, and I'll help you grow your channel from start to monetized. But the key is just putting in the work. Like I think the big thing is like people not matching the hustle. Like I'm always messaging my students like, where you at, man? Where's your video? Where's your video? Like I have one student in there that I message him like a couple times I would say a couple times every 3 days, 2 days, nagging him about posting another video because I want him to hustle because I know he has it in him. Now, if you guys hustle, the results are going to follow. The results will definitely follow. Just kind of comes with that grind, that trial and error, the grind, and the right plan. The Honda Jet. I think I've actually seen that. I don't remember it that well, though. There's a couple really, really sick planes. I was looking at one yesterday. My wife was like, going to kill me with spending so much money. But I'm like, okay, because we have another baby on the way, and we're like the ranch. We're doing a lot of things. She's like, you need to relax. I'm like, this is actually a really smart thing. But they're like the real nice planes are in the millions, but I'm just not there yet. Take on that type of responsibility. The maintenance costs on some of those planes are insane. Like a couple $100,000 a month. So even if you're having a really good year and you're making a lot of money, like you really have to be clocking it big to do that. Lear J, a 35A. What I want to do first and foremost is just master it because I only have like 24 hours of flying, so I'm really new. Like the plane that most people get at my level would be like a Cessna 172S or something like that. Very, very easy and small. But the plane that I'm going to get is going to be like a Bonanza G36. It's going to be like a 6-seater, which would be perfect for me, my wife, and I have one son now and another son on the way, and I have 2 dogs. So that would be like perfect for us for now. Yep. Yeah, a lot more money. Like you need to be making, $1 million a month, probably like $1 million a month where you can really have the plane to where you could fly, 3,000 miles nonstop in class. But baby steps. I've like tripled my income over the last year or so. And the amount of money that I made last month was like incredible. And it's all thanks to like changing the way of thinking. Interestingly, how this whole online thing started for me was I had this one client in Hollywood Hills. And this client, this is pretty much why I quit as a real estate agent. There's one client at the same time, I represented their one house in the Hollywood Hills for $3,650,000, and they had another house they were listing for $4 million. Or 4.5, I think. But I went to the party and told them it was worth 4. And anyway, they ended up firing me over that because I, quote unquote, insulted their property. They listed it with somebody else for 4.5. And then a year and a half later, they went and listed it and they sold it for just under $4 million. And at that same time, I had represented another house in Bel Air, and it was my friend's house, and I brought in another friend that leased it. And it was a total nightmare situation with like evictions. It was a pain in the ass. And I just started realizing, like this isn't the life that I want for myself in 10 years from now. So if that's not what I want for my life in 10 years, then I'm just going to take a step back. And I literally took a step back for a year, and I just sat inside and just read for a full year. That's it. I just read every single day, about 8 hours a day for a year. And as I was doing that, I was just thinking much bigger, much more clearly. And ever since that moment, it really was a pullback period. And I feel like this is what the shutdowns are doing for everybody. People are going to be pulling back, reflecting on what to do. I want to fly within the next few years. Yeah, you should. I think that private flight is almost going to be mandatory because I think that travel going forward could be pretty inconvenient the next year or so with the new mandates and all the new craziness that's going to be coming. It probably won't be that nice. So having a plane or having the options are going to be key. So I would definitely figure out the game plan. Now's the time to figure out the game plan. Let's see here. So I'll leave the link one more time, and then I'll answer some questions. And yeah, what do you guys think? Where do you guys see all this going the next 6 months? How do you feel about investing strictly in raw land? I've been taking all cash out of the bank because I'm worried about bank bail-ins. Justin, you hit the nail on the head. That's actually a real concern. People don't realize that, but that is a very big concern. It's called a bail-in. And what this does, essentially, is it enables banks to bail themselves out through your savings. Look it up. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So that's another reason why we're like, okay, the plane seems good. This ranch seems good. Start putting money in assets that you could move around in. That's going to be key. Having a bunch of different cars, having obviously land, ideally with a natural water source like Michael Burry, like Bill Gates. A lot of these people are putting a ton of money into just that. Zac Efron, he sold a house in the Hollywood Hills in Los Feliz and then bought a 300 plus acre ranch in Australia with 3 natural water sources. Interestingly enough, he went that, or very interesting. He went from that to that. So that's what I think is going to be key. Raw land definitely is going to be good. It has to have a natural water source. And it has to be in the right location. That's going to be important. The property that we're looking at now, hopefully we get it, is about 30 plus acres. But the area is great. I mean, I could go from that area to like Mexico in a couple hours. I could go from that area to Florida. I could pretty much go from there almost anywhere I wanted in the course of like a couple hours in the plane. Used car prices dropping back down next year. Home prices in the States that people left will start to drop due to homes on the market. What I think is going to happen with the home prices is it was very strategic. Like BlackRock and Blackstone, these companies, they're bidding the prices up. So everyone's like, oh my God, I got to get a house. I have to get a house. It's going to be so expensive. It's so much cheaper just to buy a house and lock in a 30-year mortgage. But what's going to happen, if you look at Biden's plan, is he wants to put these properties in a position to where they reduce their carbon footprint. This is like on whitehouse.gov. This isn't this is definite. And he wants to do that by removing fossil fuels from the property, like, gas stoves, washer, dryer, utilities. He wants everything on solar. That's going to be a big expense. So you have these people that paid top dollar for their properties. Then when everything starts tanking and then they have to upgrade their properties, not many people are going to have the 50, 60 grand to make these changes. In New York, in Miami, New York, Miami, and LA, they're all going to start bringing this stuff out in the next couple of years. I've done YouTube videos on my main channel going through their state websites, showing it verbatim. So this isn't like a theory. I have a friend in Philly. He's like, oh, that's a theory. I'm like, dude, it's on miamidade.gov. Like, how is that a theory? This is what they're saying. This is happening. People just can't understand, I think, because it's so far out there that people don't understand the direction that the world's going. I was actually looking at 800-acre ranch in Florida, in North Florida. The problem with Florida is there's a lot of wetlands, and with that wetlands comes restrictions on the land. So the government can access the property, tell you what you can and can't do with the property. I don't want any of that. I want to have full control. I don't want anyone accessing it. I want to really own the land to be able to live off of it if ever needed to. Finally get to evict these freeloaders. Good for you, man. It's I hate to say it. The problem here is that the Big Brother really situated everyone to think that, like Newsom, for example, told all the tenants, hey, you don't have to pay rent. Come on, I'm going to pay for it. Don't worry, I got you. He didn't pay anything. So he was trying to convince tenants that, hey, you're going to get this rent paid for either way. Might as well save your money. Forcing these landlords into financial hardship. So he's lying to the tenant. He's lying to the landlord, all while putting himself in a position with the SB 1079 where he can go out and buy everybody's property. And that isn't just California. That is like almost everywhere. New York is doing the same thing. A lot of these places are doing the same thing, lying to tenants, trying to force them to be dependent. That's the unfortunate thing. That's why, I don't like, I feel bad for tenants because they were misled. And I also feel bad for landlords because, they also were misled and they were forced into becoming essentially social workers, which is not what they signed up for. So it's going to be an unfortunate situation where I think it's going to be a reality check over the next, 6 months as all these tenants are hitting the street. They're saying that 3.6 million tenants are going to hit the street next 2 months or get evicted. Some will probably move with family. Some might move in with friends, but not all 3.6 million of them. They're saying 10 million in the next 6 months and 40 million in total when all this comes out. That's huge. Size of California. Big cities are going to get scary. That's what I'm thinking. How hard is it to find land in Texas with natural water source? I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking Texas. I'm looking Tennessee. I'm looking literally everywhere. I'm on like Farmer Land. I'm looking at all these websites like almost every day. And so is my wife, looking, like sending me listings all the time. So that's what it's going to come down to, though. I think is store value, which is going to be making a ton of money and then figuring out where to put it to protect yourself over time so you can weather the upcoming storms. It's not at all about being comfortable right now. It's not at all about that, because the money that we have right now is going to get depleted. You ever see the Facebook video, the Facebook movie, where Zuckerberg, or the actor pretending to be Zuckerberg, sitting in the chair, and they're like, well, how much were your shares diluted by? And they went through everyone in the room, and no one's shares were diluted except for Zuckerberg's partner that got diluted down to like 0.03%. That's what they're doing to the middle class right now. It's crazy. Oh, no, I definitely 100% care where I live. Definitely. No, I'm not in California right now. I literally just sold a property in California last week in downtown LA. So I just think that California is going to get rough over the next couple of years. So I figured I'm going to take some chips off the table. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to put my kid in school in California. I don't want to. It's unfortunate because I love California. It was basically everything I've learned as a child or as a young guy. I learned in California, but the state's just going mad. It's going crazy over there. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely very selective on where I live, but definitely very selective. And I think that we all should be over the coming year or so. But the key is going to be making a lot of money, and making it online and really building out a brand, building out your business online. So if you guys want to learn how to do that, you guys can feel free to sign up here at the wealth.thisisjohnwilliams.com. And the sale, it's a flash sale. So the sale is going to be, the price is going to change tomorrow night. What types of YouTube channels pay the most ad revenue? Best way to look at YouTube is traditional advertising was you would advertise on television and you don't know who's watching it. You don't know if it's going to be, like if you're an accident attorney, you don't know if it's a 8-year-old kid or an 80-year-old grandfather. You have no idea who's watching it. So with YouTube, they know who's watching it. So these advertisers are paying a lot more to get in front of the audience because it's going to be an audience that's going to be one that could likely buy. There's a higher probability of buying. So it all depends on your niche, because every single niche has a different advertiser that wants to place ads on those videos. But I have a friend that has over 10 million subscribers that he's in like the prank niche. And this guy, he's making a ton of money online. And I don't think a lot of it's from the YouTube or from like the actual AdSense. I think more of it is from the audience and everything he's building around it, all of his other offers. The guy's killing it, like absolutely murdering it. So there's so many different ways on YouTube that it like will pay you handsomely. Vacant office buildings everywhere. Yep, office is about to get killed. If I could short office buildings right now, I would. Office is about to really get killed. People don't understand what's happening. Next 2 months, they're going to be taking everything down. We're going to be going back to, big restrictions. So smart entrepreneurs, they see around the corner and down the road before everyone else is, they know where they are. So that's what I wish on all of you guys, is like to understand where they're trying to take this world and to put yourself in a position to capitalize on those trends. So I'm going to see you guys in the next video or the next live stream. I always love doing these lives. Subscribe here, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified of my next live. And again, consider subscribing up on the, I'll leave the link one more time. The U.S. class, I think that everything is going to be going down in a big way. Everything is. I mean, they're literally, yeah, thanks, Jay. Smash the like button. They're literally everywhere is going to be seeing some pain. But if you look at the global situation right now, we know it's coming here. We know it's coming to America. So get ready. Let's make a ton of money, and let's build out this brand to set us all in a position to where we can kind of pivot and move with the world. Friends working in NYC that were scheduled back on Friday off Labor Day weekend just got punted out 2 more months. Yup, 2 more months. It's always another week, another couple weeks. It's never over. But we all know what it is. One of my good friends worth a ton of money. I mentioned this on the last live stream. I told him everything that where I see this all going about a year and a half ago. Right as this all kind of started, he called me a crazy person. Now, not so crazy. But I'll DM him on Instagram and I'll screenshot an article and he just laughs. He's like, I don't know what to say. Because just, I mean, you have to see the trends before everyone else does. That's what makes you a good entrepreneur. I think it's just being awake and understanding who wants what. And I think these corporations, they make a ton of money as the current model exists. If this model fades, mom and pop business comes back and they lose their power, their control. So, yeah, it all comes down to strategy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe here. Definitely subscribe here if you guys want to be up to date on kind of what I'm doing, what my strategy is. And I'll see you guys on the Mindset Retreat. Yeah, I'm going to do I think I'm going to do a retreat at the ranch. If I get the ranch, and then we could basically have some people meet in Florida. We could fly into the ranch. I think it would be sick. But more info on that. First I have to get those things done. But I'll keep you guys all up to date, and I'll post a lot about it on this channel. So I'll see you guys in the next one.